All right, y'all. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go ahead and get started. Can the people on the digital side see that? Thumbs up, some nods. All right. Welcome, everybody, to the initial Kane County ROSC meeting. Let's hear a round of applause, everybody, for Kane County. My name is Jarrett Burton. I am the coordinator for the DuPage Recovery-Oriented System of Care. Some or most of you have attended our meetings before, so it's glad to have you here with us here in Kane. I'm the coordinator for DuPage, but I'm going to let my partner here introduce herself.
Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate everyone coming out today in person and through Zoom. I am Annette Villarreal, and I am the coordinator for the Kane County ROSC.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of it. Thank you very much for having me.
So again, we want to say thank you to the fine folks at the Kane County Health Department. I know we've done 2 rounds of applause already, but thank you again to the folks at the Kane County Health Department for hosting us for the first one. Yeah. So we just introduced ourselves. We're going to go a little bit more in depth in just a few minutes about what ROSC is, what ROSC does, and what we're going to hope to accomplish here in Kane County. But I thought because there are so many fine folks here in person and there's some folks on the Zoom too, that it might be good for some, I don't want to say super detailed introductions, but not just, hi, I'm Tim, and pass the mic. So maybe like our names, where we work with, if we're with an organization, if we're somebody who has lived experience, if we're somebody who's in recovery themselves, or we have a family member or a friend who's been touched by this, you can say that as well. So why don't we start on that side? Annette, do you want to take the mic down that way? And we'll always make sure we get the mic switch on.
You don't all have to stand, but I'm going to stand. Hi, everyone. I'm Carmi Frankovich. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, but I'm here today representing Good Templar Park in Geneva. Some of you may or may not be familiar with Good Templar. Serenity House should be familiar because I think we hosted a sober music fest on at our park. Yeah, that's what it was, right?
Nice.
So 48 cottages, and it's a sober living environment. In other words, people say they will live substance free, and we're wanting to network with other folks that might be looking for space to host some of their activities. So it's nice meeting all of you.
Hello, I'm Courtney Duran. I work here at the Kane County Health Department. I oversee some behavioral health initiatives. My title is the clinical manager for behavioral health. I am here because my background is in substance use. I'm a licensed social worker, not clinical yet. But I have family members who have struggled with substance use, so it is very near and dear to me. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Mendoza. I work here at the Kane County Health Department as well, and I am the Fatality Review Program Manager. So I look into past overdose deaths, and I come up with ways how we can prevent future ones here in Kane County. And I am also a licensed social worker as well.
Hi, I'm Tony Garcia. I'm the Information and Referral Specialist here at the Kane County Health Department.
Hi, I'm Rachel Merzlak. I'm the behavioral health intern here. I just started a couple weeks ago. I'm currently in school getting my master's of social work.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kim Peterson, the Director for Community Health here at the Health Department. So these are all my great staff members, and we're just really excited to have everyone here today and excited to finally have a Kane County ROSC.
I'm Michelle Meyer. I'm the Assistant Director for Community Health. And I have my late husband passed due to substance use, so there's some lived experience there.
Try to flip around here. Hi, my name is Brianna. I am the resource coordinator for Oxford House here in Illinois. Still trying to figure out exactly what that title means, but otherwise, like, I do outreach work. It's a new title. They just gave it to me and I'm like, okay, sure. But I do outreach work. Specifically, I directly oversee our houses here in Kane County as well as DuPage County. But I wear a lot of different hats. I travel all over Illinois, just helping out wherever I can. I'm also a person in long-term recovery. So super excited to, I've met Jarrett at DuPage County ROSC a lot of times and super glad to have one here in Kane County. So thank you.
Hi, my name is Matilda Faria. I am the case manager from the healthcare's alternative system. I have seen 125 in my caseload and I love it.
Say that one more time. How many?
I'm sorry,
Say that one more time. How many?
125.
And I will say thanks to Matilda and Haas for hosting the DuPage ROSC meeting. I was that last month or 2 months ago. It was fantastic. So thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Murphy. I've been in recovery for 37 years and part of Serenity House for that long. I've watched it grow from an old farmhouse into what it is today, and it is just magnificent. So much is needed, and these new ROSC, different programs to help people is just amazing. I'm so glad to be a part of it.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Donna Renard. I'm the clinical director at Serenity House, and I'm glad to be here today. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Lauren Ogle. I'm the clinical manager over at Mercy Medical Center, right across the street in the behavioral health department. So I'm excited to be here, newer in that role. I'm kind of share with, I guess, the rest of that table. Licensed clinical social worker, also CADC. So substance use is definitely near and dear to my heart. Been here to kind of network and see what Medical Center and the behavioral health department can do to assist too.
Hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Megan Redman. I'm the Associate Executive Director of Suicide Prevention Services. And I'm also the daughter of a recovering addict. So thanks.
Thank you for letting us know that.
I'm Adam Pauly. I'm all over the place. The Energizer Bunny. The Energizer Bunny for us. I'm here because we've experienced loss and we don't want to have anybody else experience those losses. And I look forward to working with all of you as we move towards our shared destiny.
Hi, everyone. I'm Cheryl Cryer, and I'm trying not to cry.
You can cry.
So
I might cry in this
uh,
at least once.
I'm an herbalist now. This is a second career for me, and I own a business in Batavia called Urban Apothecary and Fat Sam's for pets, and it's all wellness based. But I am a 30-year this year alumni of Serenity House. So yeah, so I came to Serenity House 30 years ago as a low bottom addict. Lost my children, lost everything, and I had that all back and more. Bachelor's degree, master's degree, 25 years in corporate America, and now helping others recover as well.
Thank you. Please, we can hug and share. Thank you, Cheryl.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sharon Cabrera. I'm the substance use prevention specialist here. So I oversee the naloxone distribution and overdose prevention training here in King County.
Hey, my name is Mark Matthews. I am a CPRS, CRSS for Greater Family Health. And yeah, wow. Time's rushing by. A lot of these familiar faces. I think, excuse me, I have a mint in my mouth. I think the great part about this is, again, Annette, way to go. Jarrett kind of set the standard as far as ROSCs look like and how that's grown and how that's just become this huge, amazing thing and the potential here to have that. We got Kane County are everywhere doing everything every single day. So this de-siloing in person really is pretty magical, and I'm grateful to be a part of it.
Now, should we hold off on his intro until we give him his own dedicated segment? Okay.
Sorry.
Now we do have, well, hang on. We do have people on Zoom too. We do have on the Zoom. Oh, we have one person too. One of the most important people right back there. Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Danny Sorbis. I'm a program supervisor at Serenity House, and I'm glad to be here and witness the amazing work that Jared and Annette do. And all of you. So thank you.
Danny used to be with us as helping mentor for the Region 2, which is up here. Did an amazing job, and we're glad he's on our team as well. Did we miss anybody in the back? Is that it? Hi, Tina. Thank you. All right, so we do have people on Zoom. So I may call you by name, and then we'll just see where we go. Walter, do you want to introduce yourself, sir?
Yeah, my name Walter Sanders. I'm a recovery coach and CRSS for Serenity House. I run the facilitate the Kane County grant that we have with Kane County Drug Court. I also facilitate a few classes within the Kane County adult judicial system. I'm just grateful to be here and grateful to pass hope to other people. And I really do enjoy working for Serenity House.
All right, thanks, Walter. Next in line, I see David Mraz.
Yeah, hi everybody. Good afternoon. My name is David Mraz. I am an employee at Elgin Community College, specifically for the CRSS program. I am the student success specialist. So one of my goals here is to provide resources, support to students who are going to school to get that state exam credential, whether it's CRSS or CPRS. Also, just thank you again to Mark Matthews for just giving me the invite and telling me about ROSC here, this meeting. So I'm really, really excited to be here.
All right, thank you, David. Next up, Sarah G.
Hi all, my name is Sarah Grendon, and I work for Youth Services under the State Opioid Response Grant expansion for emerging adults. I cover 11 counties, including Kane, and I personally live in Kane County, so I've been waiting for a Kane ROSC for the last couple of years, and I am stoked beyond imagination that we finally have one. So really excited to be here and for this to be the first one.
Thank you, Sarah. Can I just say the energy is amazing so far, so thank you. Andrea Haskell Marks.
Yeah, hi, I'm Andrea, and I'm a lead on the Mobile Crisis Response Team for Association for Individual Development, AID, and I'm a person in long-term recovery as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Andrea. How about Deb Beckman?
Good afternoon. I'm Deb Beckman. I'm a community recovery system specialist with the statewide ROSC team and just want to welcome Kane County to all of our ROSC collaborations. Glad you're here.
Thanks, Deb. And we're going to learn more just in a few minutes about kind of the state ROSC structure, what it means to be in that state ROSC structure, kind of talk a little bit about the region that we're in and some of the neighbors that we have in Region 2. So we'll touch on all that here in just a little bit. So glad to have you with us, Deb. Thank you. One of my favorite people, Donna Foyle. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Donna Foyle. I'm the Recovery Home Program Manager at Serenity House and a CRSS.
Thank you, Donna. Dr.
Thank
Steve
you.
Holtzford.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Hi, Dr. Steve.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Steve Holtzford. I am the Substance Use Medical Director for the DuPage County Health Department. That's a new position, but I live in Kane County. I've been part of the Kane County opioid work for years now, and I am just thrilled that this is happening. So I'm just happy to be part of it. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Holtzford. Joe B. from Live for Lolly.
Hi, my name is Joe Bastian. I'm the Kane County Outreach Coordinator for Live for Lolly. We provide harm reduction, peer-to-peer support, and trainings for the community.
All right. Glad you're with us, Joe. Thanks. Who do we got left? Next up, Dalila. Did I pronounce that correctly? Delilah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, good.
You got
Delilah.
people here to back you up. Yeah.
I'm Delilah Alegria, and I'm with Inc. Mental Health Alliance. We're an alliance, a partnership of 708 boards, where we provide funding for mental health, developmental disability, and substance use disorder services in Southern Kane County. And I heard about this meeting yesterday, and I was super excited that I could make it. So thank you.
Awesome. Glad you're with us. Thank you. How about Camille?
Hi, my name is Camille Cleveland. I am the Kane County Program Manager with Live for Lolly.
Glad you're with us, Camille. And Danielle, our friend Danielle.
Hi, everybody. My name is Danielle, and I coordinate the Community Outreach and Recovery Support Grant at Serenity House. I'm happy to be here. A little sad I couldn't make it in person, but still happy to witness the magic from Zoom. Thanks.
Glad you're with us. I see one more person on Zoom, but we're going to hold off on her because I'm going to let her chat when we chat with Ben coming up. So I'm going to stop talking for a little bit. I'm going to let Annette talk about today's agenda, what we hope to accomplish in today's meeting. And yeah, I'll back up for a little bit. Just make sure it's on. Good.
So we have the agenda on the screen, but we did have some agendas out for everyone. Kind of talks about our objectives and how the meeting's gonna go through. So again, we want to thank everybody for coming to the meeting and just take a second to look around the room, right? And on the Zoom screen, and just I'm awed, by having all the clinicians and everyone here. Not only clinicians, legends in the room, right? People with lived experience and people with loved ones. So
Can I
again,
ask a quick question?
Sure.
Because I just want to ask this question. How many people in this room consider themselves having lived experience? That's somebody who's in recovery, or you have a family member or a friend or someone who's been touched by this. You can kind of see why we asked to look around. I mean, the lived experience thing should be everybody by this point.
So this diverse group, is our strength, right? So today, this isn't a meeting. It's kind of a time to build, right? A time to come together and a time to build. So before we begin, I just want to take 1 second to acknowledge Sharon Cabrera for her outstanding work, but also for all her support, that she's always, given us, but as well to the Kane County Health Department. We really appreciate you guys having us. And I'm just honored to be able to kick off this meeting, not only here at the Kane County Health Department, but also during Recovery Month, right? Because we're still in Recovery Month. So it's just an honor to do so.
We will talk, like I said, in a little bit about kind of the framework of a ROSC program. And I think it's important to touch on, from the state's perspective, what ROSC should be doing, but just as importantly, sometimes what ROSC shouldn't be doing. And sometimes there may be some misconceptions, and that's no one's fault. I think that sometimes there might just be misunderstandings. There's a lot of acronyms in our field. You may have heard of ROSC, RCO, CORE, there's, very similar. But I think it's important to touch on, what it is a ROSC does. But also, we've been right next door in DuPage. I was going to go over briefly in just a few minutes some of the stuff that we've done over there. Some of you who've attended have seen some of those things. I think it's important just to kind of touch on it, but to also say that this community is different. This community is different from DuPage. It's just different from Lake, different from Will. And for the first few months of the ROSC being up, it's going to be a lot of outreach, conversations, assessments, comparing assessments that are already out there to kind of get the hard data behind us. So that'll be kind of something to look forward to in the first couple of months.
So now that we're going to be touching on the framework that makes all this work possible, I want to acknowledge the Illinois Department of Behavioral Health and Recovery, but also we want to talk about our lead agency, which is Serenity House. So we're going to share some slides.
Well, let's do this real quick. Let's do the intros because I don't want to wait too long. Do you want to introduce Ben?
Sure. So I have the pleasure of introducing the one and only Ben Rudolph, who is amazing to work with. We really appreciate him. I'm not going to, give his title or anything. I'll let him do that. But the work he does, again, is outstanding. We can't do it without you, Ben. Thank you.
Thank you, Annette. I didn't know I was going to do like a little speech here, but may I face the crowd? Is that okay?
Yeah.
To talk about? Okay.
Do you want to pace? If you want to.
No, just going to stand here.
It helps me sometimes creatively to pace, but okay. Yeah.
The first song I'd like to sing. God, I'm so excited to be here. First of all, thank you so much for being here. My name is Ben Rudolph. I am also in long-term recovery. If I happen to make it to this November 30th. I will have 22 whole years of being in recovery from drugs and alcohol. I know that recovery is real because I experience firsthand every single day. Jared and I were talking about recovery and recovery month and what are you doing for recovery month? Every single month, every single day, every single minute of my life is recovery. And I don't say that in a way that is painful. It's a joy to be here. Recovery oriented systems of care. I am your servant. I am the Region 2, which is what Kane County, DuPage County is a part of, technical assistant. So technical assistant doesn't mean that I'll come and fix your computer. I would not. I would break your computer. So it's a kind of a weird title, but what I do basically, for me, I have distilled into an acronym because in behavioral health, we love acronyms. So it's Oreos. O is for outreach. What's the other one? I just made it up. Yeah. No, O is for observe. R, report. E, encouragement. E-O, outreach. I perform outreach. And S, support. So I am here for you. I work for you. You don't work for me. I am here to represent for statewide ROSC, the entire state. I'm here to represent for DBHR, which my friend Joanna is a major part of. But I am the first person to talk to contact, to be with if there's a problem, an issue, a concern, or something you'd like to brag about, because I love to get on the phone and brag about these councils. So I am here to support you in any and every way. I come to your meetings. I come to your events. I look over your deliverables, which is what the state of Illinois wants me to do, to make sure that your paperwork's in order so the money can keep coming. Money is an issue. If we know anything about our federal government right now, things are tightening up. I want to make sure that everything is squeaky clean, absolutely tight, beautifully in order, so that I'm not getting phone calls from Joanna or my supervisors, Nadia and Bahia, that things are right, things are going well, and things are going well. I'm so proud to be a part of this. You know, I'm a Jewish person. Happy Rosh Hashanah. Yom Kippur is coming up. And one of the things that my religious beliefs come to has to do with it, that we are only as great as the worst of us. And if you save one person, you save the world.
Nice.
Thank you.
Ben,
I
thanks
yield
so
my
much.
time.
Thanks, Ben. Ben's somebody who'll be with us monthly. You'll see him at the event. So yeah, glad to have him with us. I'm going to introduce the next person, which we mentioned a couple times. Joanna, I saw you on here earlier. There you are, Joanna Gonzalez, who works with the state and has been a huge supporter, not only of our ROSC, but the ROSC project in general in the state of Illinois. She's a fantastic resource. She's a fantastic person to know. If you don't know her already. And she's one of my favorite people in this field that I've gotten to know. So Joanna, I think I said all the positive things we talked about beforehand. So no, I'm just kidding. Joanna, can you pop on for just a couple minutes to say hi and just to kind of let people know your role within this, and then yeah, anything else you might want to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a Zelle payment for those nice words, but
Thank you.
so much. But nice to meet all of you. My name's Joanna Gonzalez. I am the ROSC coordinator here at IDHS DBHR. My role here pretty much is I oversee all of our amazing 47 ROSC councils across the state of Illinois. And what that means is pretty much is like the programmatic stuff. So I get to do like the not so fun stuff of like, you know, reviewing deliverables and bothering all my ROSC councils because I need all this information. But a lot of that stuff just help support the fact that we can continue funding. So Kane County, I'm extremely excited about. I remember hearing the term NOFO, Notice of Funding Opportunity, and it just being a thought, right? Like, hey, we're going to put a NOFO out. We're going to try to expand ROSC councils across the state of Illinois. And being part of that whole process and now attending your meeting is so surreal, and it's so awesome, and it makes all the work so worthwhile. So I'm really excited about attending your meeting, about Kane County having this as a great resource. The way that we look at our ROSC councils across the state of Illinois, they're pretty much the dot connectors, what I want to call, right? Like we know that in our in substance use and mental health, we see that, you know, many people do still operate in silos, and ROSC councils have been able to bring all of these people together in a meeting and be able to coordinate care in a way that's like so meaningful and life-changing for so many people. So this is extremely important work to me. I'm extremely passionate about it. I'm really, really excited. I come to the meetings not as the state person that's checking what you guys are doing. I'm here as a cheerleader. I love to brag about you guys as well. Jared knows this. I continue to always brag about my ROSC councils, and I get to hop in on your calls every so often. I promise to be on camera next time, but my hair looks way prettier in that picture than it does right now. So, but thanks for having me.
Thank you, Joanna.
Go through through some slides, and we're going to talk about Serenity House and the wonderful work and its role in the community.
Well, more about ROSC, less about Serenity House. Okay. Hey, that's you. Do you want to? Do you want me to read about you and you about me? How do you want to do this? No. No. This is Annette. Yeah, she has a background, not necessarily in substance use. Came to us through the AmeriCorps Recovery Corps program. Has anyone here heard of that program before? Yes. If you're unfamiliar with it, it is a really great initiative that started a few years ago, where AmeriCorps, who does things like reading corps, education corps, stuff with teaching, all kinds of stuff actually, they started a recovery focused initiative years ago, which is called Recovery Corps. It is a grant-based program. So you were given the grant. We were blessed enough to have Miss Annette come to us through that grant, and she was brought on as a full-time employee right after that ended. So yeah, we're thrilled, beyond thrilled to have her with us. And she came from a background of DV and early childhood education. So yeah, she's learning more and more about substance use, and I'm learning more and more about that other part of the continuum that isn't just the substances. That's me. We can just skip that one. Hang on a second. I got to do the actual slideshow piece. Hang on. Well. Oh, that was you. It used to be a shot. You look great. Okay. Next up, that's me. Don't worry about that. Let's talk about the lead agency. I just want to be cognizant of time. I don't want to be cognizant of time. Serenity House is the lead agency for the Kane County ROSC. What that means is that Serenity House is the grant holder, but the work is done through the ROSC, both DuPage and Kane, underneath that umbrella. So just to know, lead agencies, that's the way it is throughout the state. There's a lead agency that holds it, and then they get the ROSC up and running through that lead agency. Serenity House has been around since the mid-'80s. If you aren't familiar, started off as just a small little cottage house in the middle of Addison, held 4 or 5 people. Now through the numerous homes we have, I think it's 100 plus residentials, and then DUI risk assessment, outpatient, very, very important stuff, new peer support departments, and then the community facing stuff. So not only the ROSC, we recently had an RCO, and then there's also the CORS program. So there's quite a bit that Serenity House has been able to do over the past couple of years, you know, with community facing stuff. Again, I'm just going to kind of glance over this. I kind of talked about it, but I want to get to the ROSC stuff. We started back in the summer of 2021. I forget what cohort that was. There's different cohorts when ROSC kind of get up and running, but that's when we came in. So back in the summer of 2021. This was actually my first job in the field, was taking this over. So it has definitely been a learning lesson the entire way of how to do things and how not to do things, but it's been very cool. So what have we been able to do in DuPage? And then I'm going to get through this and have Annette kind of talk about the Kane portion of things towards the end here. DuPage has been able to do a lot of things, and we've been able to do a lot of things mostly through engagement and members in the community who are engaging and collaborating with us. One of my favorite things I've ever been able to do is use giant scissors. Has anyone ever made giant scissors? I got to use giant scissors on a big red ribbon thing, which was very cool. Harm reduction. When we started in 2021, we were lagging just a little bit behind other counties with harm reduction work. So we got into the a similar grant holder with the Narcan boxes through the health department. We have a similar partnership with the DuPage Health Department. So as to date, we have 12 Narcan boxes put up throughout DuPage County and a 24/7 Narcan vending machine where you can go in 24/7 to get it, no questions asked. We also facilitate finding spots for places. So if an organization's like, hey, we would really like to have a Narcan box. Okay, well, this person holds that grant. We can connect you through this. We're connectors in a big way. But harm reduction was a big, big piece of that. Not only Narcan, test strips, xylazine, fentanyl, benzo test strips, the newer ones like medetomidine, or even the more bleeding edge strips that are coming. Big piece of what we do, distribution of those. Narcan trainings, mobile pop-ups, you name it. Those are those boxes I was talking about. You've seen similar boxes. Just wanted to kind of show where we put them up. Libraries, treatment centers. The one on the right was the place I was at treatment the last time. So that was a very emotional day for me. Let's talk about breaking down stigmas. Stigma reduction. I'm going to guess that out here in Kane County, we have some similar stigma issues that we have in DuPage, correct? Okay. What are the general stigmas? Let's hear maybe some phrases or some misconceptions. What do you hear about people in recovery or substance users? Ooh, want to give them a mic? What's NIMBY for those who don't know?
NIMBY is not in my backyard.
Oh, that's a good one.
Again, it's always somewhere else. It's always somebody else. And we realize like the hands are raised. If it isn't yet, it's a big yet. And why would we wait until then?
That's a great point. That's a great point. Anybody else? Any type of, okay, we'll get the mic around there. And sometimes stigmas are very subtle. I'll tell you one that I heard yesterday. Crazy. Someone was crazy when they weren't acting crazy at all. It's sometimes subtle like that. And I know I'm not trying to hold people to unrealistic expectations with language, but there are subtle things like that. So what was the other one?
A lot of times when we're distributing Narcan at different, or naloxone at different events and things, people come over curious, and then they'll say,
Ever do this?
I don't know. I don't need this. I don't know anyone. But
This one.
even we've had people circle back and be like, actually, I will take one, after talking to their children or something like that. So
Annette, what was your experience when we went out there to give out Narcan to people?
It's kind of the same experience when I'm out, on the field. I'll get like, oh no, that's we don't need that. I don't know anyone. I have no idea what that's for. And they kind of always they'll drop it immediately once I tell them it's for, an intoxication. They'll drop it. And I'm like, oh, and then I have to remind them like, hey, have you ever had an operation? Have you ever had children? Have you ever had to take medication for bronchitis? You need, you will take some Tylenol with codeine. And then sometimes they're like, oh, wow. And then they'll come back around and they'll take it.
But I like that what you did, because they physically recoil. It's very bizarre. But again, that's not necessarily their fault. I want to hammer that home, because sometimes it's just lack of education. Sometimes it's just not been out there, or they have stigmas, So stigmas are a huge piece. DuPage, NIMBY was the big one. But also people didn't always feel comfortable talking about their recovery out loud. Sometimes they felt a little hesitant. I want to talk about these. She's famous. I told you. She's right there. Annette, do you want to talk about this campaign with the health
I
department?
am not famous. I just like to volunteer to do things. Okay. That's what it is. Again, we had the opportunity to, work on this stigma campaign. And I'm truly a person that likes to say, I don't like to ask anyone to do anything that I wouldn't do myself, right? So if I talk the talk and walk the walk, I like to be that role model. So I volunteered and, and was honored to be able to be on on this media campaign along with my
This is our
coworker,
colleague Blake.
our
too.
colleague,
You may see him.
Blake.
He's like our data whiz, so you may see him with assessments and surveys and stuff.
Because it is very important to me to break down those stigmas, especially with co-occurring disorders, right? Not a lot of people acknowledge that they can be connected, and we that are, that have lived experience, we know for a fact that they are connected, right? So, yeah, I was able to volunteer for this, and it's still running, I believe,
Yeah.
and it's been popular from what I've heard, and I'm just very honored to have been able to, be that person.
This is actually the second one we've been able to do with the health department. We're really very blessed to have them as a partner because they early on kind of saw what we were trying to go for, and they were trying to attempt similar things, just sometimes not always in the same direction. This was the year 2. The first one was actually more like fentanyl awareness, mixed with stigma reduction. So we had 3 members of our ROSC, people in recovery, sit for photos. And they, allowed their images to be all over DuPage County. And when I mean all over DuPage County, I truly mean that. We were getting photos from people who were like, hey, I saw your face on a gas pump, like a literal gas pump. Well, physical. So actual physical signs. I'll bring them at some point. I'll show you. They're very odd. But we had members, and so stigma was such a big piece to us. So those of us who are in recovery to be able to go out and say, hey, we recovered out here. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a big piece of what we hope to accomplish, and also reducing stigma out here and being vocal about people in recovery, bringing them to the table and having them feel comfortable being like this. So yeah, big piece of what we do. Annette, I mean, every day I get calls and emails about her. Who's she? That's actually one of the ones from year 1. It's one of the ones from year 1. We got a ton of great impact from that. Not only people who came to the table, but just randomly, you would hear people, hey, wait, didn't I see your face on something? And it's funny, but it does go a long way. It really does go a long way. Also, referral help. Oh my gosh, can I talk about the gaps in services? One of the big things that a ROSC does, as opposed to just providing the service, is saying, hey, there's a gap here. What's pre-existing that can fill that gap? And if there's not something pre-existing, can we create something, or can we urge somebody to create something? So this referral help thing a few years ago, I'm just going to give the briefest explanation. We started a group text with like 6 or 7 of us who were identified kind of as those members who family members and friends felt comfortable calling or texting when they needed to get someone into treatment, and fast. Anyone here in this room, that person? A couple of us. When you get calls and texts at like 10:30, 11 at night, 2 in the morning, we were those people. And that's tough to find if you don't know, quick fixes for that. So at the time, this was pre-Iris and other things, we had to kind of just work with what was there. And so we created a WhatsApp thing. There's like 160 people on it. It was kind of like just, hey, this doesn't exist now. We're going to problem solve. And that was the problem. And we kind of created it, took our hands off, said, we created the platform. This is y'all's. So they continue to use it, even though, Iris and other things are out there. But that was one thing we kind of did when we were getting up and running. Anyone can access it. I'm happy to walk you through it at the end if you'd like. It's very, very easy to use. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Community educations. You want to talk about those?
We do a lot of community education. We're lucky that in DuPage County, we're welcomed into just about everywhere, right? But we do from harm reduction to stigma reduction to OEND, which is overdose education, and Narcan, and Narcan distribution.
It's a big one lately? De-escalation. We get a lot of requests for. De-escalation, but also emerging substances. Does anyone here try to keep track of emerging substances for your organization? Yeah. You know what that's like, right? It's like whack-a-mole. The next one pops up. But we try to stay ahead of the curve on those, right? Because if we can't anticipate, we don't have to be so reactionary when new things pop up. And that's like her background's in education and stuff. So she's got a great backlog of stuff. As an organization, we have 3 years of trainings on YouTube, completely free. People can access them whenever. So we're just gonna keep building. Staying ahead of the curve. Anyone? Does anyone vape in this room? I'm gonna shamefully raise my hand. Okay. It helped me to quit smoking cigarettes, so I don't really care that bad. But if you go into a vape shop, guess what's in there? A whole lot of stuff that isn't a vape. It's stuff that can get you high. A lot of those emerging substances come up in these gray markets. That's what we've seen a lot lately. 7.0, anyone heard of 7.0? Whew. 7.0 is kind of hitting like a bomb right now. Again, this isn't that type of presentation. Long story short, we try to stay ahead of the curve, and we want to continue to do that out here with y'all in Kane County. All right, that's all I got from DuPage.
So thank you, Jared, for
thank you.
sharing that and helping me out. So to build something new, we must first understand the strong foundation that already exists. So our partners here at the Kane County Health Department are on the front lines of working out here every single day. So it's my distinct pleasure to just hand over the mic to Sharon Cabrera, who is the substance use prevention specialist here at Kane County Health Department, and just talk a little bit about some of your like initiatives and your harm reduction programs. Like yesterday when I was at the meeting, we were talking about the gun locks and the safes. And I was just amazed.
We don't have that currently.
We don't have that in DuPage County. And my whole insides were like, wow, what is this? And because I just feel like as harm reduction, I think that should be like one of our top priorities. So please just elaborate a little bit on that, okay?
Give it up for Sharon first.
Thank you. First thing I want to say is no you, because
No,
I
you.
love you guys. Like, you guys are the best. We're so happy that we finally have a ROSC in Kane County. We've definitely needed it for a while. So I'm really glad and really glad that it went to you guys for sure, because you guys are the bomb and you know what you're doing and you're awesome. But yeah, no, besides all the naloxone distribution and training, one initiative in that program right now is like naloxone vending machines. So we're trying to get naloxone vending boxes, non-electrical, into more places around the county. We've been talking to Geneva and Elburn to try to see if we can get a vending box in their train stations. I asked Elgin too, but they were like, pace controls that one. So we'll have to see what
We'll
happens there.
talk for sure. Yeah, we've been thinking like, we got to put our heads together. So we'll talk at some point. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But when it comes to the gun safe and lock stuff, the gun lock, it's through the Reimagine Public Safety Act. And it originated, of course, in Chicago, but then it eventually went out to the cities in Illinois who have like the highest rates of gun deaths, gun violence, just all that stuff. And of course, Aurora being the second biggest city in Illinois, Aurora got the grant. Liz, who unfortunately was not able to be here, but is doing a pretty good job at running our program. She is able to get gun locks. And there's also another grant for gun safes, but I think that one might be out.
We had some so popular. We've already distributed 800 of them.
Wow.
So yeah, and these are like biometric gun safes, like fingerprint, lock your gun up type. So it's
We'll talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah.
It's
See, I think that's a great example though of the needs sometimes differing even county to county, and maybe not even needs, just, hey, this initiative is here. It just doesn't exist over here yet. So to be able to kind of coordinate between the two is pretty awesome.
But yeah, no, that initiative has slowly, of course, it's still based like programming, everything is based in Aurora, but the gun safe stuff, we extend it to the whole county because it's a need. And then we have other programs and initiatives like Behavioral Health 360. I don't know if one of you guys want to talk about that a little bit more in depth.
I can do the prices right, Mike. Or that'd be Wheel of Fortune, I guess.
Were you done, or do you want me to do that and then? Okay. So Behavioral Health 360 is a project that I oversee. It launched in February. It is a self-help website, free. You don't have to put in any credit card information or pay for anything. It's covered by funding that we have to help with behavioral health in the county. Even if you're from DuPage County or a different county, you can access the website. It's not blocked off. It's just an open source website. But it's got a lot of different stuff on there, different assessments you can take to kind of see where you might be at with either substance use, anxiety, wellness, nutrition, anxiety, depression, things like that. There's a ton of different things on there, a lot of different topics that range from, like I said, wellness, nutrition. There's like mindfulness information, LGBTQ plus resources and information like that. You don't have to make an account either. I'm trying to like remember all the questions people typically ask me so I can give you guys that information. But you don't have to make an account. It is nice though if you do, because you can kind of track your progress. You can save your results. You can go back and look at all your assessments. You can save the topics that you're really interested in going back and checking out as well. And then there are different like series, like almost like, yeah, like catalogs. So like if you go on there and you're really interested in mindfulness, for example, is like a really good one. There's an entire series with like podcasts, videos, articles, things like that are all in one tiny little area that is all compiled so that you can just see all the information about mindfulness. I also have a lot of different materials and marketing fun goodies that we order that we like to give out and table at events and things like that. So if anyone's interested in those, there's lip balm, really nice pens, magnets, bracelets, stress balls. The balls are those are a hot commodity. They're like little pop ball fidget things. So everyone really loves those. Adults and kids love them. They're really fun. Everyone at the health department has one. You can hear them. Everyone's popping them in their offices and things. So super fun stuff. But if anyone's interested in those, we're trying to really distribute those in the county so that people have that information on hand. They have little QR codes on them and little reminders. Just the pens are a nice reminder. People write with them and remember, hey, I can go back to this website for some help. It was launched by the website was launched a couple years ago. Not by us. It's hosted by a company called Credible Mind, and it was launched in response to mental health deserts. So think of like rural Kane where there just aren't as many resources. So we decided to launch it here so that everyone else also had a way to kind of bridge that gap if you need extra resources. There is a resource section too that's manually populated by myself, and previous interns have assisted with that. So we have a lot of resources on the website too that people can check out on their own. So Behavioral 360.
Awesome. On the website. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So anything else from the substance use or mental health side that you would like to let everybody know about?
We also host firearm restraining orders in collaboration with FSA, right? Yes.
Okay.
So what that entails is if you know someone who is struggling, whether it be threatening suicide or threatening harm to someone else, you can actually do a firearm restraining order where they will take the gun. I believe the police, right? Or the entity will take the gun and they'll hold it for a while until the person is okayed, right? Like has gone through approved.
Yeah, written on. Okay.
Yep. To get the weapon back. But
Sounds tricky.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it is a really interesting training. I've sat through it and it's really informative. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, like I said, those are a couple of things like we haven't been able to offer or have. I just realized I was not talking to the mic. That's a great thing because that's, like I said, we don't have that over there. But yeah. Thank you again. I just wanted to say you guys have been so gracious, such awesome hosts, and looking forward to being partners as we do the work out here. So yeah, do you want to talk? So we got about 10 minutes. Do you want to talk about
Yes.
the assessment?
So just for sake of time, we were going to go more in detail about our fiscal year 26 community needs assessment. But just to be brief, I think we'll touch
It'll
more
be
about,
out next week.
yeah, it'll be out next week, but we'll talk about it more in detail in
Well,
the upcoming.
I can do like the real, yeah, we'll go at the next ROSC meeting.
Yeah.
We'll give the full,
Yeah.
breakdown.
So just in short, this survey will focus on harm reduction and MAR and stigma. The survey will measure public opinion on recovery issues and highlight areas for community improvement. We're asking partner organizations to please help us distribute these surveys, but as a ask, we're also asking to see if champions and leaders in the community would be interested in joining like a subcommittee. And that subcommittee are, basically the first project would be distributing and collecting this information here in Kane County. And then once we do collect it, it will go into, into the, what I say, into that magical funnel where all the works get done and the data gets, summed up and percentages get, we see percentages, and then we come back and share it with everyone, right? And that really helps guide us with knowing where we might need more support and where we might be lacking some support, right? And where we can start building. And so I would be using that needs assessment kind of to guide what we'd be doing as the Kane Council ROSC to support and also to highlight during, the rest of our meetings moving forward.
That is important because we can have an idea of what we think like a need is anecdotally, but sometimes we need the data to bear that out for, work to get done or for maybe funding to flow in a certain direction. So we'll probably be reaching out to some of you to maybe chat about some pre-existing assessments that might be out here. So we're not like reinventing the wheel too much. But the first one's going to be a little bit more basic for Kane. DuPage is a little bit more specific. The state usually has 10 questions that they would like answered, so they can collect data. And then as we add questions to that. Like Annette kind of went into, this is all gets collected and really shows us where to focus stuff, where to focus our efforts. So it'll be important. It's going to be open until December once it's up. So it'll be open for a little bit. But you mentioned something earlier, which is, Kane, more so than DuPage, and I've noticed this from the past few weeks of outreach, is when you get out here in the more rural areas, there is more of a geographic spread sometimes in between areas. And so sometimes maybe those areas aren't reached as often as, the Elgins or the Auroras or where we have population concentrations. So it may be, hey, we're going to be out in these rural areas if you want to come with us, to maybe collect some assessments here or there. It really is a community effort.
It is. And I mean, we want to hear from the community. We want to hear from everyone, right? Because the ROSC is not built, not just me and Jared, right? It's really for everyone here and for, and for the Kane County community individuals. So we really, need to hear that voice because this is what, this is how we work. So you guys are the ROSC. So we would really appreciate it if, anyone would like to sign up or not even sign up, just let us know or, shoot us an email and we'll have more information on a subcommittee in the future. Okay.
You want to talk about sober fun type events too? I think that's one thing we didn't get to hit on, but I want to talk about.
Definitely.
Sober fun events.
Very limited.
I have, by the way, this gentleman up here is
Yes.
one of the Sober Fun Hall of Fame members.
Yes. We have to give it to him.
Drive-in
skating,
movies.
skating, roller skating. Yes.
Long story short, we like to show that it's not a boring time for people in early recovery. I think that's like particular feedback we hear a lot, which is, this sucks, like, and I get it. I was there. I know what early recovery, it's not always fun, but sometimes we don't know where like sober fun stuff is. And so we would love to partner with anybody out here who's looking to do events, supplement or work together collaboratively. Definitely want to be that for y'all as well. And am I missing anything else? No. We've got a couple of minutes here towards the end. Yes. So I did want to say, if anybody did maybe came late, did not get a chance to introduce themselves, or if there is a particular, topic or area of need that you maybe want to is more top of mind you would like to bring up here in these last few minutes?
Or any events that you might want to highlight.
yeah.
Yeah, you know, for your organization, we'll be more than happy to pass the mic over to any of you.
Well, of course.
We'll go one.
So, speaking of fun, we're going to have our 4th annual Sober Turkey Bowl. So that is a flag football game done in the DuPage area. Again, family-friendly welcome. We've had more every year. It's just a bigger spread of donuts and coffee and cookies and muffins. Again, football is optional. We had cheerleaders, we had dogs, we had, again, so yeah, it's 100. I don't like doing events that aren't dog friendly. The roller rink was the only place that wouldn't let me pass on that one. But I'll have the flyer out. I'll make sure I get it to Jarrett and Annette. But yeah, again, Sober Skate will be in March. We've already got that in the works. And then our Recovery's Got Talent show, which we usually have at the end of summer. So yeah, we didn't. Yeah, I didn't get sober to go to meetings only. I mean, I'm literally here trying to live the best life, and that's what we get to really demonstrate in this ROSC is that there's something out there. So thank you.
Thank you, Mark. We really appreciate you.
Just when you pull up the slide that had the Kratom and the T-Naptine and the 7-0, just reminded me that actually as a health department here, our tobacco and vape cessation prevention program is going to start surveying vape shops in Kane County to see what they have.
Can we maybe go with on a few?
Well, and that's what I was going to say. Like, however we can, work collaboratively, that would be great. But we're trying to collect as much data as possible so that we can figure out what is going on because nobody seems to know.
So if you've come to this stuff,
Yeah.
you've seen
Oh,
me
yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
evangelize about vape shops.
Oh, yeah.
I go to vape shops to interview the proprietors, because that's really the front line of like what's new. And you've seen it go from like nitrous oxide to, this other stuff to now 7.0, like skyrocketing. I love going in and doing that type of stuff. So yeah, we can talk about
for sure.
collaborating on that. We're already actually, right behind you, I think.
Mark, are you funded for, or have you guys ever thought of doing like preventative sport events? Because I'm a part of a few different councils. And even if they're sober, they're young, even at the youngest ages, they're always like, because of all the stimulation from the phone and things, it's like, I'm bored, or, and then the idea of sober fun is just even further away from them.
Yeah.
So there's just been so much discussion on this lately. It's like, how can we get more spaces for kids to realize that fun doing multiple different things without using substances?
Get off their phones and then to do what?
Yeah, right. And
I think
where they go, like my kid can't go there's no malls anymore. There's no places for them to kind of congregate in a sober way. So it's just like, what do we have for them in a preventative way?
I know I'm part of the coalition of a Safer Healthy Elgin, and we attend those meetings quite often. And again, those conversations are being had frequently. I know that the barrier involving youth can be, there's this sort of understandable, right, approval system that becomes like inverted. It becomes, again, approval by the parents. Approval for what? We can't have the thing before we get the approval, and we don't have the approval before we can create the thing. So I see this kind of inner circle going on, but I like what you're saying. Again, any of the events I've done have never been affiliated with my organization. They've always been for fun and for free, meaning they've been nonprofit. So any proceeds from, like, I think Sober Skate, we collected like $1,900 profit above and what we spent. And that was divvied out to 5 harm reduction organizations and recovery based, again, because, I am here to have a good time. But I don't see I definitely see the potential for collaborating, because again, we're not turning it into a corporate sponsorship. We're just able to get maybe a better location, a better outreach as far as, getting the word out, or even just having that kind of logo can kind of make something a little more legitimized, as opposed to like, hey, Mark's sober events, so.
Thank you, Mark, again.
So I want to be cognizant of time, because I want everybody who's in here who wants to hang out for a little bit past 3 definitely. We're going to keep talking, but if anybody on Zoom needed to hop off, I just want to let them know that they could.
Yes.
But yeah, I want to go ahead. Yeah, Cheryl.
I just want to put out there that I'm interested in resources for seniors. I see a lot, not a lot, but I see more than I'd like to in my shop that are struggling. Um, the theme seems to be doctors cutting me off my Norcos or there's not a whole lot you can do to get off pain meds from an herbalist perspective and just switch and start doing herbs, right? I mean, so I would like to have better resources to give to my seniors that come in. Yeah, along with everything else, but that just seems to be, so I have one client in particular that I have the fentanyl testing strips for that reason.
We'll connect to
Okay.
that's
Okay.
senior resources. I do want to bring up one thing though, which is we need to talk about next month's meeting. So this is a monthly thing we do. This is this council meeting. So DuPage does second Wednesday of every month at 3 p.m. So we try to schedule it not there, but we want to be cognizant of everybody's like time and availability. This was kind of the first one we kind of just said, hey, pick Wednesday 2 p.m. Does this time work for people? Do people like mornings, different days? I'm happy to take input from folks in scheduling the second one. That's the first one. Second one is, again, like Annette said, you want to fix the
Yeah. So we're asking another ask, right? Besides the subcommittee, we're also asking and just offering to come to your organization and host our ROSC meeting at your location. And as a thank you, we would also love to highlight your services and your organization. So if we have any takers, please let me and Jarrett know. But if you feel like your organization would love to do that, please send us an email or a text message or whatever way you can. Just let us know, and we'll be more than happy to come and visit you. We don't need a lot of space. We're pretty, yeah. Exactly. Again, the ROSC is built, by you guys. So we want to be, as flexible as we can so that so that everybody, can come to the table and we can have those conversations and we can start to build, but we need you here. So let us know and we'll be more than happy to, try to work around everyone's schedule. All right. And again, on behalf of the Illinois Department of Behavioral Health and Recovery and Serenity House and the Kane County ROSC, we thank you very much for joining us today. And again, just a little reminder that we will be sharing information for the next the Kane County ROSC. It was going to happen, Kane County ROSC. And it will be posted on the Kane County Health Department's calendar. So just keep an eye out for it, okay? And again, thank you very much, Kane County Sharon and the Kane County Health Department for hosting us.
Last thing I'll say, thank you to everybody online too. I apologize if I was not able to answer as many questions via text. I will contact everybody who had questions. But yeah, just be on the lookout for the next one. And yeah, thanks everybody for attending.